Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE NITE, which means, of course, some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is, of course, by joining said Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all the various requests you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan Stars, are all fair game. So, without further ado, let me hop into that Discord group right now, and then we will get going. Alright, I am in. Now, is there anyone who would like to get us started? As why don't we jump into versus mode, get ourselves set to our default settings, and I think we're good to go. So we'll be looking for a couple people to get us started today, and of course, if there is anything you'd like to see us do for the first matchup, we can do that. Maybe it makes sense to wait and see who we have in the match first, but that is ultimately your decision. Our rotor is able to start. Awesome. Awesome. Let me get the Steam friends up. Failure is as well. Sweet. Sweet. Okay. Invite number 1. Invite number 2. And we should have those sent out now. Once we have you both in, if you could just confirm who is player 1 and who is player 2, that would be great.
I am player 1 at the moment, but my controller is controller 2.
Naturally, yes. Understandable. I mean, as we've long established here, player 2 is actually player 1, and player 3 and player 4 simultaneously are usually player 2. In what is, of course, a 2-player game. Did that invite go through to you, Failure? I feel like I only heard one.
Not that I could see.
Sound effect.
Wait, just got through. Never mind.
Okay.
We're good.
There we go. What's up, Anor? How's it going? Yeah, no worries. Good to have you either way. That does, however, mean it is up to you to scheme up some good requests, though. Can you do that? Meanwhile, Failure will press all of the buttons. Alright, well, I take this to mean that, I'd love if this would not be on that screen right there, but player 1 does seem is Iroder. Player 2 is now going to be Failure. Iroder sticking with the withdrawn. Failure, did I catch him at an odd time when he was switching back and forth between the oh wait, what? Hold on, I pressed the wrong button. There we go. There's withdrawn Fry Rotor. Was that an intentional dissidence, or were you just switching back and forth and I happened to catch you when you were on dissidence when in fact you intend to be the Fate?
Yeah, give me the purple boys.
Okay. That's what I assumed. Okay. So we can give them a warm-up match if we would like. Otherwise, we could always go straight into requesting some things, but that's up to you guys. Failure and Iroder to lead things off today. Not seeing any requests at the moment, so maybe we will give them just a chance to play a normal match before we get into anything too crazy today.
Stand forth, exiles. You heed the summons to the spring of Jomur. Here you shall be tested by your adversary. Prevail and step closer to freedom. The withdrawn stand prepared. The fate stand prepared. Who shall strive for freedom?
So no request for this one. Up to you both to take whatever you'd like here. And although this may have been intended as a simple, straightforward, impartial first match, we are, of course, seeing Valor's home arena as the initial locale for this first rite. So perhaps favor to Valor in that way from the scribes. It's prayer beads on Pamitha for Iroda to lead things off with, and it'll be Almer as the lead for Valor. Iroda, however, stealing a member of the Fate from Valor, going with Web Lanthorn Raji. Valor will spin the wheel. Where it lands, nobody knows. It answers with a Titan Tooth Tamitha. Titan Tooth on Dulbert is the final choice for Iroda. That's a couple of Fate members now. Iroda looking to out-Fate the Fate here, perhaps. Valor does take Raji, though. And here we are. It's Almer getting things started, teleporting to the orb, but going down quickly. Back to Dulbert here. Throw intercepted. Valor back in possession and still had Tamitha near the Pyre, so she receives the orb, looped around the defender, and in for a 20 damage plunge. She's gone for this round, but that won't matter for Almer as he's able to throw this one in for 20 from range. Almer looking to repeat things here, and does just that. Another 20 damage throw. Third time's the charm. For Iroda, perhaps, but not for Valor, as he's able to intercept, although Valor gets the rebound by teleporting to the orb once again, and Almer able to throw it in once again.
The rite is nearly ended.
But this time, Iroda saw it coming. Able to banish Almer. Now just Dulbert back. But he's able to hop in for Iroda, plunging for 20. Almer, throw intercepted. Pamitha blocked. Almer teleports to the orb and walks it in for the win.
GG.
It was as though the scribes themselves stood by their side.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Alright, so let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see us do for the next one. We gave them their chance to warm up. So now, I mean, we could throw anything at them at this point, right? I'm sure they can handle it. No matter how crazy it may be, I'm sure they'll be fine. Alright, Anor is choosing Exiles. awaiting the details on that, and there may be more. In addition to just exiles, we'll have to see. Talismans as well. Okay. What's up, Core? How's it going? We just finished our first match between Iroder and Phaler. Nothing crazy about that one, was just both players taking their preferred teams, but now Nora's going for the bot for both exiles and talismans for both players. So let's take a peek at what we end up with here, as I think both players have already gotten started here. So Iroder got Barker with Luminous Idol, Tizo with Star Splinter, and Vids with Aura's Scale, which would need to get rerolled. For Phaler, Gilman with Faith Stone, Messenger Imp with Malith's Tail, that would have to be rerolled, and Udmilda with Prayer Beads. So let's see, Phaler had to re-roll a talisman for Messenger Imp, it gets Aura's Scale, which also doesn't work. Tries again, gets Goals Bracer, that also doesn't work. Gets Goals Bracer again! Eventually gets Living Flame. Wow. That is, Messenger Imp just really wanted to have a legendary talisman there. And then Iroder needed to re-roll, what was it? The Aura's Scale on Vids. Ended up with Bottled Void. Okay. That is, that's quite the adventure. Quite the adventure on those bot talismans. It was a journey. A roller coaster ride. Oh, and 2 masteries as well. Only 2 masteries. Okay. Give Messenger Imp his legendary. He just wants a legendary, man. Is that so much to ask for? Alright, well, it looks like that'll be it. So why don't we get started? Oh, and I forgot to turn the sermon intro off, but oh well. Bonus sermon intro.
You have this opportunity to prove your worth. May further shame befall whomever fails. The withdrawn, stand ready. The fate, stand ready. Now, let us begin.
Alright, so we know the Exile and Talisman combinations, however, only 2 masteries, which certainly may make things a little more difficult for the players, as though the Talisman setups might not have been ideal, with 4 masteries they probably could have found a way to make them work, whereas with just 2, there are significantly fewer ways to set up those characters.
Sir Gilman.
And of course, there are also some classes that are perhaps more in need of the 3rd and 4th mastery than others. Some can get by pretty well with just a couple of masteries. But it means there's no access to the bottom mastery at all. So if there are any characters that really need that, well, that's not even possible. Messenger Imp, he just wants a legendary talisman. He's gonna have to settle for the Living Flame. Tough choices with those masteries. As I was saying, the Imps in particular, the 2nd mastery on either side is very good, but at best, Phaler would have only had access to one of them. And Vids with the Bottled Void, that is a relatively difficult character to set that up on, especially without the additional support from the other characters, as it takes a long time for those demons to come back from banishment. Was it really Prayer Beads on an... Oh, right, it was, wasn't it? Luminous Idol on Barker is not bad either, although he does go down here. We'll, of course, have a better sense as to just how fortunate or unfortunate those setups were with a randomized bots, exiles, and talismans. But the prayer beads, it's hard to argue against that. Phaler able to plunge here for 25 and has Udmilda back. There's Barker jumping in. Now, Iroder did not take the extra damage, but did take the extra jumps. Just one of those difficult choices you have to make when you only have a couple of talismans, or rather, a couple of masteries. Is Beleth knocking back the defenders, creating enough space to plunge in here for 30. And now she's gone for this round. Imp versus Imp. Oh, and suddenly an opening here for Iroder. Throwing it in for 15. Barker retreats momentarily, recovers the stamina, and makes his move, and makes it in. Good for another 15 here. And that means one more score specifically from Viz Peleth would be enough for Iroder. Anyone else would need a couple of scores. Here is Viz Peleth. So she is threatening here. But not enough to throw Phaler off.
All banished.
As momentarily everyone down on Iroder's side. There was the Bottled Void, almost triggering close enough to Phaler's exile with the orb that it nearly dispossessed Phaler. Udmilda vanishes the defender, and vanishes the other defender for what it's worth. Got stunned and knocked back a bit, but there is still enough time for Phaler to plunge there for 25 with his preferred exile, no less. Higher damage and, as we were saying before, the prayer beads. So he is still at full strength even after that plunge. Now Viz Peleth nearly vanishing the entire side of Phaler's team, but Phaler able to get it back and nearly score with Udmilda. But Iroder, had it back and nearly got in with Barker there, but stopped just in front of the Pyre. Iroder again, this time with Viz Peleth. And now Barker. And he fakes out the defender as I think Phaler accidentally went through his own portal, bringing him away from his own Pyre. And now it means any score from any of Iroder's characters would almost certainly be enough, barring a quick throw, but certainly a Viz Peleth plunge will do the trick.
The withdrawn prevail. The scribes themselves surely have taken note.
GG.
The rite is ended.
Alright, well played, you two.
Until the next rite.
Now let's head on back. So let us know if there's anything we want to see for the next one. If not, I feel like Messenger Imp needs his legendary talisman. I feel like we should do both players using Messenger Imp with the legendary Imp talisman. Because how many times did Phaler roll a legendary talisman that Messenger Imp was not allowed to take? Was it 3? Just wants his legendary talisman. Just give him the legendary talisman. If it were up to me, at least. That's what I would say. But alas, it is up to you in chat. Whatever you would like to see, let us know. Otherwise, of course, we can always just have the players take whatever they'd like. That works too. Oh, but Anora's turning Customize off here. Alrighty then. In that case, randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. Unlike with the bot, where we could see them in advance, that will not be the case this time around. We're just going to get thrown straight into the action. That means it'll be a bit of a guessing game. Could still do a song, could still do an arena. Otherwise, just about everything is accounted for here. But unless anyone has a specific song or arena that they are looking for, which I'm not yet seeing, then why don't we get started?
The withdrawn shall take
Alright, and it is the Pit of Malith. It's Iroder's home arena. It's a harp, a sap, and a cur for Iroder. It is a sap, a demon, and an imp for Phaler. Phaler does have Messenger Imp. Does Messenger Imp have Legendary Talisman? That would be the will of the scribes if it were said. No, he doesn't! I'm crushed. Looked for a second there like Messenger Imp might have had more than just the usual 15 damage, but it was quick, couldn't quite see. And it is Iroder getting us started with an 11 damage throw from Tamitha. And we see both players actually with extra starting Pyre life. In the case of Iroder, it's coming from a talisman, what with the 30 extra starting Pyre life, and it was 35 from Phaler, which means it must have been coming from Vids from a mastery. So we know that much. Both players, of course, with the sap. That means there is some potential for rekindling here. We'll have to see if either player has rekindling, second life bar, and if so, how much is it? Messenger Imp. Now Tamitha blocks. Vanishes the defender, though. However, stopped by Messenger Imp, and now it is Phaler going through the portal with Vizpaleth. Vanishing a defender, but losing the orb just before making it toward Iroder's Pyre. Iroder nearly bulldozed through with Tamitha there, off the wall no less. But it is Phaler making the defensive play, and then the counterattack completed with Vizpaleth. No prayer beads on her, though. She is now gone for this round.
None left unscathed.
Barker. His throw. Oh, for a second there, it looked like it said 20, which would be more than you would typically have from a cur, because even that first mastery on the right side that gives extra 5 damage is only for plunging, not for throws. Vizpaleth. Blocked. Vanished. And now here's Iroder. Blocked and vanished, though. Phaler's attack, now with Palmas, doesn't last long. Barker looking to go off the wall, but Phaler would not stand for that. And Iroder with a clever off-the-wall orb pickup there, setting up this 20 damage plunge. And now Iroder is without Tamitha. Ooh, successful, very effective exploding sapling from Palmas for Phaler. However, Barker came back quickly, and what looks like a clear scoring opportunity has now been stopped. Vizpaleth down. Barker trying to sneak through, but unable to find his way past all those auras. Phaler thought about it with Messenger Imp, but instead moves in with Vizpaleth, but unable to get the plunge there. Throw from Iroder, not enough time to finish it. Ooh, dangerous portal for Phaler. Close to the opposing Pyre, now moved ever so slightly further away. But Iroder had it covered there and able to stop Vizpaleth once she went through it. Well, Iroder looking to go off the wall, you'd love to see it, and banishes one of the defenders, no less. Time to throw. And once again, goes for 15 from Barker. Ooh, effective fell swoop there from Tamitha. She is banished, though. Vizpaleth. Hopping around, but Iroder well-timed on the harp cast. Able to get rid of Vizpaleth, but unable to score with Tamitha. Phaler eyes the portal, gets him close. Oh, that is a quick throwing sap. Lightning speed on the Palmas throw from Phaler. And that is certainly a threat, especially in a small arena such as this.
One and all.
Manly, for iRotor, does not have the same kind of throwing speed. Double banishment for iRotor. Suddenly no defenders, so time to throw that one in for 20 with Tamitha. Parker first to the orb, but first to get banished. And now everyone banished on iRotor's side, but once again, Barker comes back quickly. And at least slows down and eventually does banish Vizpaleth. Tamitha out of stamina. But Harp pushes her way through. In fact, it's a rather odd-looking Harp push, but it did ultimately work. Oh, and somehow, Parker threads the needle there, plunging for 20. And that means one score potentially enough for iRotor here, although as we were saying before, both players have saps. So there is always the potential for some rekindling here. Ooh, and Phaler had the aura size advantage because he had his sapling nearby, so he overpowered the opposing sap, creating enough space to throw it in for 8. Vizpaleth, cornered and banished. Tamitha looking to go off the wall and nearly snuck her way through. Messenger in. Trying to fake out Tamitha, but iRotor was not fooled. iRotor off the wall and nearly helped him navigate through the defender's auras. Vizpaleth goes on a banishing spree. Everyone down on iRotor's side, and that means time for a 30 damage throw. Palmas, not quick enough to escape that situation. Tamitha, certainly quick enough to bounce off the wall, nearly enough to get in. Vizpaleth again, once again, banishes the defenders, but does eventually go down. Taylor once again with the larger aura size on his sap, nearly being a difference maker on that occasion. iRotor still able to weather the storm. Once again, Phaler overpowering with those large auras. Getting banishments close to iRotor's Pyre, putting him in dangerous situations. Oh, as Parker very nearly able to avoid the banishment there.
The orb is taken.
Vizpaleth. Banishes one. Makes it in. And now iRotor down to 7 Pyre life. Both players potentially in range of going down after one score, but once again, both players have saps. How much rekindling, if any, do they have? Would just be 10, or if one player has 50, then that could certainly be a difference maker, given just how close things are suddenly looking. Tamitha, trying to go off the wall, finds her way in. It is 10 rekindling for Phaler, so second life bar revealed. Now one score, iRotor knows would almost certainly be enough, but suddenly, no one back defensively unless and until Barker makes his return. But it's not only 50, it is a whopping 70 rekindling for iRotor. Not just the full 50 from his sap, but also a hidden right light in there. Great news for iRotor. Not so great news for Phaler, but he does already start whittling away at it with a 25 damage sap throw. Vizpaleth tries to go through the portal, but iRotor had it covered. Parker, blocked and banished. Palmas, banished. Oh, and Soxy, or rather Tamitha, very quick, finding her way in for the winning plunge.
I mean, I knew I had 50 rekindling, but I did not have 70.
The ceremony is complete.
GG. Well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Yeah, those customize off RITE lights. Always interesting to see. Sometimes you can kind of see them coming, other times they come out of nowhere. Well, let us know, chat, if there is anything we would like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we will set ourselves back here to our default settings and have the players take whatever they'd like, but up to you. If there is anything you'd like to see, then let us know. As Phaler tempts fate. Ah, I tried to get him. I didn't do it, though. I'm pretty sure he's still got his usual setup.
The withdrawn
Well, it's on the book.
shall now face the fate.
It is still the Fates. I was not able to catch him
Welcome.
with the Dissidents.
Who shall conduct
He
the
was
rites?
also messing around with turning Customize off momentarily, but I think that is still on.
Hamatha.
Yes, it certainly is. Okay, so it's Prayer Beads Pamitha for Iroder. Phaler is able to choose, and so he will take, for his first selection, a quick throwing ninja Almer. Titan Tooth on Tizo will be the second choice for Iroder. And Phaler will also go with Titan Tooth, though in his case, on the Stowaway. And finally, Iroder breaks out a speedy Vids. And an Exploding Lady River is the final choice for Phaler. Phaler's throw intercepted. Iroder on the quick counterattack, able to plunge for 20 with his harp. And he did have Prayer Beads on Pamitha, so she is already back, although it is Phaler who is already scoring here, throwing it in for 20. Iroder first the orb, though Phaler quickly teleports to it and banishes Iroder's exile in the process. Here's Vids, knocking back the defenders, creating enough time and space to plunge for 30. That time it is Phaler getting to the orb and his throw intercepted. But Iroder Titan Toothing Phaler, creating a little bit of time with that stun. And although Tizo went down there, it did create a dangerous portal, which Iroder uses to set up this 20 damage plunge. Once again, Vids knocks back the defenders, setting up the winning plunge.
And what a crushing victory it was.
GG.
The rite is done.
Alright, well played, you two.
Until the next rite.
Now we'll head on back. Okay, so let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, of course, we can just have the players take whatever they'd like. Oh, and one other just random thought that occurred to me as the players were selecting their teams that time. So, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the character Vids, as we know her in the modded version of the game that we have here, is also a character that makes an appearance in the campaign. However, she's on the Accusers, and initially, she is a nomad named Vizpa, and only later in the game, once she turns into a demon, presumably from being in the downside for a long period of time, does her name get changed from Vizpa to Vizpa Leth. Which raised a question for me. Have all of the other demons also modified what their original name was, adding on some kind of suffix to acknowledge the fact that they have become a demon? So, was Ignarius's original name Ignari, or something like that? Was Jody's original name Jody, not Jodariel? And they only added that last syllable upon becoming a demon? I don't know. That was a thought that just occurred to me as Irunner was selecting Vizpaleth in that previous match.
Orlick definitely kept his original name. He was called Orlick before and after.
Yes, that's a good point. Do we know for anyone else, though?
I think, but it's not mandatory or anything.
Because that is strange, though, that we see, as Phaler said, for Orlek, no name alteration, but we clearly see for not only Vizpaleth, but there's another nomad turned demon,
Darwin.
right? On the Accusers, who also does that?
The demon name is Darwin for, I think. I'm not sure if it was
Yeah, it is.
Darwin beforehand.
Poor says her name is Captain Jodariel, or her title is Captain Jodariel. So maybe
I think
no name
Jodaria,
alteration.
I cannot imagine that Jodaria changed her name.
But people do call her Jody, so I feel like there's a non-zero chance that her original name was actually Jody, and it just got extended to Jodari. I think it's unlikely,
I
but
think there's like a very low likelihood that
yeah.
she was called
It just
Jody
seems strange to
before.
me that there are some characters that have specifically altered their names because they became demons, and then we have these other characters who we know they're demons, but we have no idea if their full name, or if their current name was always their name, or if they changed it. Jody might actually be her first name, and her last name is Jodariel? Who likes that naming scheme? I don't know! It's just a random thought that occurred to me as I was saying. Don't
So
know
I
if we
could
can ever
imagine
confirm or deny.
that Godathanian as some kind of a title. Doesn't necessarily have to be a front end.
Or like the location that he's from, like Goal of Golothanian? Golothanian?
He's from the town that he's named after.
I mean, that's not that unreasonable. It's not that out of the ordinary.
Like
Maybe
Brandon
it's
Brandenburg
something
or something.
like-
But there,
Maybe something like son of Goal.
yeah. I was gonna say, in like Norse languages, Norse cultures, that's very common. Where you usually are named after, your last name is just father's name, son. Or,
Yeah, same as Hebrew.
yeah. So,
And same as I think Arabic also.
It's like like it's also somewhat common. Like originally at least like Scottish Irish, right? At least like everything like with Mac something as I think it's also like
Same
Yeah, like
idea.
McDaniel is the son of Daniel.
Yeah.
so who knows?
Or like your clan is Daniel or something like that.
Yeah. Who knows? But alas. When it comes to the actual multiplayer Pyre, circling back to that, have not seen any requests. Maybe everyone has just been lost in thought after we have been considering the naming conventions for the demons, but perhaps it is just that nobody has anything in particular that they are looking for us to take for this next one, so why don't we just get this next one started then?
The withdrawn versus the fate.
Okay.
Welcome.
And it will be at the Follisolium here.
Conduct the rites.
Prayer Beads Pantha, that'll be the lead for our rotor.
Exile.
Luminous Idol Soxiana for Phaler, so Harps as the lead for both players, though not set up the same way.
Exile.
Web Lanthorn Raji, second choice for our rotor. Titan Tooth on Bertrude for the stuns in Phaler's second slot. Then a Meta Jody for our rotor. And finally, a Speedy Ignarius. Or is it Ignar? Or Ignari? We may never know. Jody wins back the orb and uses Celestial Spike to banish the only defender in the area. However, Phaler uses the Crone Salute. It doesn't affect our rotor much when he already had the orb, so he's able to plunge with a Howler for 30 damage. And Phaler could only use that Salute once. And that is not the way he would have liked for that to have played out. Hey, rotor, quick to the orb and quick to the Pyre here. Plunging for 20 with his Prayer Beads Pantha, so she has already returned. Phaler, though, pushing here with Bertrude, plunging for 30.
Shall the fate press their luck, perhaps?
Duel of the Harps. It is Phaler who wins out this time. Switches in to Ignarius. Banishes one defender. Gets the orb back, but banished by the second defender. Pantha. Switches sides. And almost found enough of an opening there. Jody. Phaler wins it back here, but gets banished. Now it's our rotor with Pantha. Banishes Ignarius. No defenders. By the time Phaler's Harp comes back, our rotor has already plunged here.
How very fortunate for the withdrawn.
And oh, last second switch from Phaler into Ignarius nearly pulled that one off. Extra stamina for Pantha helps her get into the Pyre. Switch this time into Bertrude. She'll plunge for Phaler, good for 30 damage.
The fate have gained
Means no Bertrude in this round, though. And just Ignarius back defensively at the moment. So our rotor finds a way past Ignarius and finds a way in for 20 damage Harp plunge.
the fate seem to be falling behind.
Jody against Ignarius, and Jody wins out and throws it in for the win.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
A rite conducted with aplomb. Thus end this night's proceedings.
Alright, well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, so let us know, chat, if there's anything you would like to see for the next one. Fulico, what's up? How's it going? How are you? Wait a second, this isn't Mass Effect! How are you? We're doing some Pyre. We're doing some Pyre. Which is, it's a sports game of sorts. This is literally Mass Effect. What you see, this is, the Withdrawn are actually the Alliance, and the Fate are actually the Reapers. They're facing off in a good old game of sports ball. Some people say that this is closest to basketball. I actually think it's in some ways closer to hockey. But it's a fantasy sports game, and by fantasy I mean magic-y stuffs rather than theoretical combination of players who do not actually exist in real life on the same team. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while now. But I mean, this is more Mass Effect. What are you talking about? This is I see nothing different between this and Commander Shepard, and it's one and the same. Well, anyways, why don't we get this next match started then? Ooh, I hear the Isle of Caliber.
Shall confront the fate. Welcome.
Alright, well, no requests from chat, so you are free to take whatever setup you would like here. Fulika, basically, the gist of the game is that both players have this fire, or pyre, on their side of the arena. They have to defend that fire. If their opponents can take the ball, or the orb, technically, and either run into the fire or throw the orb into the fire, they will damage their opponent's fire. So if you can destroy your opponent's fire first, then you win. So basically, in that way, it's, you know, you're trying to score on your opponent's goal, in a way, which is, as I was saying before, kind of similar to soccer, or association football, slash, you know, hockey is kind of similar as well. Again, people, I think, oftentimes say it's like basketball, but I think it's more like hockey, because there are a few other ways that it has some similarities with that as well. Titan Tooth Tizo. So both players selecting their teams here with different characters and items to power themselves up. The other thing they can do is if they can get an opposing player in their aura, their circle around themselves, they can temporarily remove that opposing player from the game, giving themselves a numbers advantage, as Phaler has done just now. Everyone on iRotor's side is, at least at the moment, out of commission, and therefore an uncontested opportunity for Phaler to throw that one in for 25.
Someone grasp the orb.
Phaler, with Gilman, trying to speed through, but he's vanished. iRotor. Fake's going one way through Milda. Instead, goes the other with Tizo. Tizo is down. Milda back at it, but stops short of the Pyre. Gilman, once again for Phaler, explodes, taking out a lot of the defenders, but iRotor still had it back, at least until Udmilda went down. Stunning claim freezes everyone momentarily, although Phaler was getting pushed ever so slightly by the arena imps, nearly enough so to get him the orb. Titan Tooth stuns Phaler momentarily, giving iRotor just enough time to throw this one in for 24. Tizo, for iRotor, finds his way all the way in here for 25 damage on that plunge.
The Withdrawn's pyre now
And now just Raji. 4-Eye Rotor does get Udmilda back, but now it is just Udmilda. She's blocked and now banished. Raji does come back, not quickly enough though to stop Phaler from plunging here for 15. Jody for Phaler, banished before she can deal any damage. Eye Rotor with Udmilda, cut off. Jody. Banished. Tizo. Stopped just short of the Pyre, but did create a portal very close to Phaler's Pyre, although Eye Rotor does not need it, as he'll just jump straight in for 30. And, oh, everyone was gone momentarily for Eye Rotor, but as we see here, Raji has since returned. Now Tizo has as well. He's blocked and banished. Oh no, he's still in. His throw intercepted though. Taylor. With Yeoman, elusive, finds his way through, plunging for 15 here. Milda banished. Titan Tooth freezes Eye Rotor, giving Phaler an opportunity to plunge for 30 damage here, and suddenly we have ourselves what could be a one-score match. As both players have enough damage, at least if they use their higher damage characters, to finish this with one score. Except that, oh, Phaler does not have access to his higher damage character, except that he had conditional extra damage. Or Eye Rotor was lower than Phaler was, so I actually don't think he needed it there, but either way, Phaler does take the win here. Well played, you two. Yeah, I think I was just looking at Phaler's Pyre there, but Eye Rotor actually had less. Alright, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Alright, well let us know, chat, if there's anything we would like to see setup-wise for the next one. Otherwise, of course, we can just have the players take whatever they'd like for the next one. That always works. Not seeing any requests at the moment, though. In which case, of course, we can just have the players take whatever they'd like. So why don't we do that?
The withdrawn versus
And we are back at Eye Rotor's home arena here, the Pit of Malith.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
He'll start with prayer beads on Tamitha, so she will come back from banishment even after plunging. As Phaler goes with a triple jumping Titan Tooth Rookie, so he will stun anyone that he jumps into. Webbed Lanthorn Raji for Eye Rotor will bring back a teammate whenever he banishes one of his opponents. Prayer beads on Dalbert, so he'll come back from banishment whenever he plunges. Titan Tooth Lady River, so she'll stun anyone that she jumps into. And Phaler goes Web Lanthorn on Snadra, so she will bring back a teammate whenever she banishes an opponent as well.
Begin.
And is Iroder getting us started with the 20 damage plunge from his harp. And she had Prayer Beads, so she is back. There's a double Titan Tooth, both players stunning each other. That time, Iroder stunning Phaler, but not the other way around, so that gave Iroder a little bit of time to follow up with another plunge, once again with his Prayer Beads Exile, his preferred plunging Exile. But Phaler sneaks through here, plunging for 20 with his Cur. No Prayer Beads on Rookie, though, so he is now gone for this round. Lady River, banished. Dalbert gets rid of the last defender, so time for him to rush in for 20. He did have Prayer Beads, so he is back, despite having plunged. And he'll do so again. And, Tamitha and Rookie just collided and exploded. Here is Tamitha, though. Not enough stamina to get over or around the defenders, though. And Phaler is stunned by Iroder's Titan Tooth. Iroder launching the attack and gets a Worm Throw in here for 15 damage. Tamitha quickly finds her way in for 20.
Shall the withdrawn further out?
Lady River banished. But Phaler momentarily stunned, giving Iroder a chance to stun one defender. And loop around and in for 20 damage on another Harp Plunge, meaning one more score. Potentially all that Iroder would need, as Phaler would likely still need 2 here. Well, there is one score. Once again, it's Dalbert. And that means we have ourselves a sudden death match. In all likelihood, some circumstances in which a player might not quite have enough damage. At least in Phaler's case, as Iroder has a little bit more Pyre life remaining. But Phaler does make it in for the full 20 damage and finishes the job.
GG.
Victory
I
so
guess.
narrowly achieved,
GG.
and thus more glorious. The rite is ended.
I guess. Well played, you two. And let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we would like to see for the next one.
Anyone else hopping in? There's a new guy in the chat. This guy
That's
should hop
true.
in.
If there is anyone else who would like to get in on the action, let us know, and we can potentially swap you in here. Core is setting the arena to the Glade. Core is also choosing Exiles. What does that mean, Core? What does that mean, Core? Care to articulate that idea further, please? Core says, and I quote, "Not allowed to pick cringe," end quote. Upon being asked to specify further as to what exactly that means, Core's response was, quote, "No," unquote. So, interpret that however you will. You are not allowed to pick cringe. Not exactly sure what Core is looking for, but I guess that is up to you to determine. Right, by Core standards or by their standards? Because the result might be different. By Anor's standards, no cringe picks by Anor's standards is what you must take, Exiles-wise, for the next match. So, good luck figuring out what exactly that means. You leave me out of this. You leave me out of this, okay? This had nothing to do with me.
I guess don't pick Worms and don't pick Tooth, because that's what she hates.
Was there wait, was it just Exiles or was there a Talisman in there as well? Exile, Arena, which was Glade. I think it's just Exiles. No, Anor, you can't deflect. No sap shields here. Alright, but it looks like that's it, so I am curious to see how the players interpret this request. They cannot take Exiles that are cringe by Anor's standards.
The withdrawn shall confront the...
And as Valor was kind of starting to get at there,
Welcome.
Exiles in a vacuum, it's kind of hard to say. Exiles plus Talismans, that you can get a better sense for what might qualify as quote-unquote cringe. But just Exiles and Exiles alone? That's a little bit harder. Well, Iroder goes for Legendary Talisman on Jodario for the extra casting distance. Valor goes Nutrition Stick on Volfred. I think we'll have to get a ruling from Anor at the end of this match as to were there any cringe selections, because this is all according to her standard, as that is a quick throwing Viz Paleth for Iroder. I feel like both players have played it relatively safe when it comes to the potentially cringe characters by Anor's standards. Viz Paleth maybe being the most questionable, but I mean that's not saying much. Valor goes double sap here with a quick throwing Palmus. Whereas Iroder is going triple demons with a speedy Ignarius in the last spot. And last one for Valor is an exploding headwind. Alright, so we'll have to hear from Anor when it comes to just how cringe or uncringe these setups were, as that was the request. They were supposed to go for something uncringe. We shall see what Anor's ruling is. But it is Iroder getting us started with a little 10 damage throw from one of his demons. Jody knocks back one defender, and that creates enough space to plunge here for 30. Valor vanished before he can make it in with Volfred. Iroder cornered and banished. Headwind threatens to explode and does. And Valor plunges here with one of his saps. That means he's now Palmasless in this round.
The orb is taken.
Rotor just barely avoids banishment there and able to plunge for 30 with Jody.
Now go.
And a double banishment with the Celestial Spike there, so effective throw for my Rotor, though still got banished, and so now it's up to Ignarius, who does plunge, and it does reduce Baylor's initial life bar down to 0, but he had 60 rekindling. So second life bar has now been revealed, and our Rotor now whittling away at that life bar with an 18 damage throw.
Good.
Hammer back at it here. And certainly could have plunged, but instead opted for the throw. Although a throw of that small a magnitude does not make that much of a difference because our Rotor's maximum damage is still just 30. So it is still a 2-score game.
Goodbye, Joe Dariel.
Almas. Now Headwind. Triple banishment from Headwind, running straight into all of those demons, and it creates the time and space for a sap throw. So it did work. But Rotor
GG.
sets up the winning plunge.
Withdrawn prevail. They overwhelmed their
What
adversaries.
anyone says anything, nothing that SSC picks is correct.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
That's the rationale.
Well played, you two. GG. Let us know, Anor, if there was a clear favorite when it comes to which team was more or less cringe. Core says thinks both were good. Anor says the setups were fine. The setups were fine. No reaction to the sacrificial Headwind. Well, let us know, chat, if there is anything that we'd like to see for the next one. Not seeing any requests here, though. As a person who always debates what to have when you pick two saps, Sacrificial Headwind isn't a bad choice. Nor I am surprised that you are not more critical of Sacrificial Headwind. It's the premise. It's not the merits of how effective he is in the rites. It's the premise of sacrificing Headwind. He's more useful to you banished than he is on the field. Does this not strike a chord with you? Does this not seem odd? Disrespectful toward Headwind? Oh. That's not nice, Anor. He had a sap plunge. He had a sap plunge. You gotta respect that. True, true. Alright, well, I've not seen Ah, the lack of exploding saplings. Okay, I see. I see. Well, not seeing any requests from chat, so let us know if there is anything you'd like to see. Otherwise, we'll just have the players take whatever they'd like here. That is certainly still an option. But Honora is choosing Exiles. Now I'm expecting some kind of reversal here. Something that is not cringe by core standards. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Characters who are not cringe by core's standards is what you must take for Exiles. So, let's jump in. We'll have to see how the players choose to interpret that prompt, that request.
The withdrawn shall now face the fate. Welcome.
So Exiles that are not cringe
Shall conduct
by
the
core's
rites.
standards. So Iroder goes power casting Snadra.
Sir Gilman.
Titan Tooth Gilman is the first selection for Phaler. Now, Thorned Knot on Lady River is the next choice for Iroder. Tor says based first pick for Iroder. We'll have to see what his thoughts are on all of the subsequent selections, though. As maybe the first one or two picks, those are the obvious ones. As we start to get further down, toward the end, it becomes maybe a little bit more difficult. But Phaler goes Canned Singularity, not on the Stowaway, but on Messenger Imp. Core says everything is good so far, though. Then Shooting Star Barker is the final choice for Iroder.
All right, Core, what's better?
And it will be an exploding Snadra in the last spot
Begin.
for Phaler. So we'll have to get the final judgment, the final ruling from Core as to whether those were satisfactory, whether any of them were
The fates
cringe.
are first to strike
But it is
their
Phaler getting
That's
started
not
with a
based, I
15
don't know what
damage
it
one.
Gilman caught out.
Both are not cringe, but Divine Retribution is more base. Okay. Snadra versus Snadra, and it's Gilman who emerges, though.
The orb flies
And Phaler throwing in with his worm for 15. But missing the mark this time. Second attempt. This time does land, once again for 15. Big cast from Snadra, though. There is the Can Singularity. And Phaler uses that to set up a 15 damage Imp Plunge. Phaler back with his Worm. Gets it off just in time. Gilman again. This time Shoulder Smash. And it is another Imp Plunge here for Phaler.
The rite is nearly ended. Too bad for that one.
And Phaler finishes with the Worm Plunge to take the
Alright,
win.
I'm bringing that build to Attorney. Thanks, Core.
They vastly outperformed their adversaries. The rite is complete.
Alright, well played, you two.
Until the next rite.
And we'll head on back. Alright, so let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one, or for that matter, if there is anyone else who'd like to get in. I know when Nor was saying earlier that she would be unable to play today, just be hanging out in chat, but if there is anyone else who would like to hop in, let us know. Core's up for it.
Let me play 2 more.
Okay, I wrote her looking to stick around for a little bit longer. Phaler, in that case, do you want to stick around and face Core? Does that work for you?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, unless if someone else from
I
chat,
pop
in
out
addition
now,
to that,
then
who's
we
also
get
looking
2
to get in,
games
and we could do a double
of
switch.
the other match, and then I come back in probably. So if Nora's not here, and I don't see anyone else in chat right now.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well in that case... Alright, yeah.
Save us some remote play messing around.
Oh? Remote play doing wonky things? But it seems like we'll go for 2 more between iRotor and Phaler, then we'll swap out iRotor for Core. So if there is anything we'd like to see still between iRotor and Phaler, let us know. Only a couple more opportunities to make those things happen. But not seeing anything here, so why don't we jump back in?
The withdrawn shall take on the fate.
And it's at the fall.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? Almer.
iRotor goes with the prayer beads on a ninja Almer. Whereas Phaler goes quick throws on a ninja Almer. So we'll have to see. One going the plunging route, the other going the throwing route. Which one will prove more successful? As iRotor flanked his Almer with an Imp. And Phaler does the same here. And it'll be a full Fate team for iRotor. That's a Banishing Throws Dalbert. Whereas it'll be double Imps in the case of Phaler. Alright, so here we go, and as is always the case when you see 2 saluting savages in the first spots, it's a matter of timing because whoever shows up second oftentimes will be the one banishing whoever shows up first, so a bit of a cat and mouse game, as Phaler able to get the first score in here with a 20 damage throw from Ulmer. But here is Iroder's Ulmer. As we were saying before, Phaler went the throwing route, whereas Iroder went the plunging route with their respective Ulmers.
Stands unopposed.
And here is Iroder doing just that, plunging in with Ulmer.
The pyre on each side burns just as
Phaler finds enough space to throw this one in for 20.
the fate on our favor to prevail.
Now Imp versus Imp. But a guest appearance from Dalbert
Bask in the purified
as he plunges for 20.
the two triumvirates
There is
are
the double Savage salute that I was referring to before. Ultimately, the Savages banishing each other in the process. As is often the
I
case,
almost pity what
they
transpires.
almost cancel each other out in that way.
Why, that
Ooh,
was all
and
of them.
well played defensively from Phaler there.
Wherewithal.
And able to score for 25 on what was a higher damage than you would typically see. Imp plunge there. Throw intercepted. It's Dalbert threatening with the vanishing throws, but instead follows it in for a 20 damage plunge. Once again, the Savages canceling each other out.
That was the last
But advantage Phaler in that case because he has one extra exile after Iroder plunged.
was true.
So that means uncontested opportunity to throw that one in for 20.
Once more like that, and we are finished.
And one more score potentially, all that Phaler needs. Titan Tooth, so Phaler stuns Iroder momentarily. And nearly found an opening. Does get banished, but does create a portal right next to Iroder's Pyre. So Iroder needs to be careful here.
Banished.
As Phaler now with an opportunity for a quick score.
And it is done.
GG.
And there it is.
The fate prevail. Perhaps they do deserve their freedom.
GG.
After all. The ceremony.
Messenger
is
Imp, a better dad than Dalbert, confirmed.
Ooh. Ouch. Wait, this is... Hold on. Hold on. This is coming from the Fate player. What? You can't just diss your team
Thus,
captain
the
like
rights
that.
decided.
You can't just diss your
So,
captain like that.
Discord server and ban him. That's an unacceptable statement.
You know, I'm pretty close to it. I'm pretty close to it. I don't know if you can represent the Fate anymore, Phaler. That was pretty blasphemous.
Alas.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if we can let him play the Fate anymore. Well, either way, I think we are expecting for this to be the final match between Iroder and Phaler before we have Core switch in, so if there is anything we'd like to see between these two, then let us know. He will get what's coming to him. It will be his fate. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ooh, speaking of fate, in a different way, I do have an idea, just a theory as to how we could test that statement that Core just said. That is one potential way, I suppose. No, I missed it. That wasn't what I was trying to bait out a customize off to see what Phaler ended up with in that way, because that would have also tested his fate. But no, I was unable to start the right while he was on the Dissidents. Unfortunately, I missed. Couldn't quite get the timing right. But we're at the Fate home arena. Oh, hold on. Okay, well this is perhaps the real test in that case, as Iroder leads with Ulmer, so he's starting off with a Fate member. Wait, but oh. No, so close. Honor goes customize off, but it'll be for the next one. Okay. Honor was like, I heard someone say customize off.
Wolfred.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to, trying to fade out, Honor.
Exile.
No worries, no worries. It was not the most direct of hints.
Messenger Imp.
As Phaler takes Messenger Imp instead of Raji. My goodness. My goodness. It's a full Fate team for Iroder. Phaler's at his home arena. Has not yet taken a Fate member. And no, having just Raji is not enough. Not when it is a full Fate team on the opposing side. Phaler is blurring the lines here. Who is the actual member of the Fate? It's a little hard to tell, especially when all of Phaler's exiles are down here. The Numbing Gust is active. Oh, and buys Phaler just enough time to get one of his characters back. It's Messenger Imp. But the Titan Tooth stuns Iroder. Gives Phaler almost enough time to make it in, although he is banished, yet does have enough time to create a dangerous portal here.
Into the adversary's flame.
Although that portal now resets, nowhere near as threatening as it once was.
Ouch.
The stun once again with Titan Tooth, though.
Oh.
He is making matters very difficult for Iroder defensively, although he is able to make the stop there. Almer with the black magic jump
Bathes first in the fate's flame.
does find his way in for 20.
Oh.
Melber banishing throws, though no one to banish with them. He goes with the black magic jump.
Out of the flame.
Phaler going the throwing route, but not enough time to get it off. Double imp banishment, and it's Almer
Of freedom.
who comes in to clean up the scraps.
Your exile shall return ere long.
Ooh, Phaler, quick with his sap blinks, but not quick enough. Almer, blocked. And, did he just
Oh.
teleport to avoid banishment? No, he did still go down. Throws from Volfred, once again, not speedy enough
Banished
to get it off in time, as nearly enough time for Almer to make it in there. Phaler through the portal. Stuns, but gets banished as he lands in the auras of the defenders. Almer, banished. Dangerous portal for Phaler, which he uses, but is still blocked. Titan Tooth, though, gives him enough time to get off a 23 damage throw. Almer, banished.
Dalbert dispatched with ease.
Big banishments here, but Messenger Imp emerges and plunges for 25.
That's it.
Almer, caught in the sapling aura. Volfred lines up the throw, good for 6.
The orb is up.
Volfred surely doesn't have that kind of range. Well shielded, though.
Scribes.
Setting up a 25 damage Volfred plunge.
The Fates seem to want their freedom more.
Another dangerous portal for Phaler. And one score potentially all that Phaler would need. Volfred could do it, although Volfred is out for this round.
There.
Though I think Phaler took the extra damage on one of his imps. Or am I mixing that up with one of the previous matches in which Phaler definitely did do that? Might be about to find out here,
Quite the close call.
as
no?
came about as close as you could get without plunging on that occasion. Almer sneaks through, Plunges for 20, and now that means that Iroder could finish this with 1 score as well.
The ceremony.
Does also mean that Volfred is back for Phaler. Everyone banished except for Messenger Imp. At least on Phaler's side.
Yes.
Stun, though, gives Phaler a little bit of time. Does have extra damage on that Imp.
The fate
So finishes the job with that plunge.
GG's. Well played.
victory, yet nonetheless commendable.
GG.
The rite is done.
Alright, well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And I think we were looking for Core to jump in here to take Iroder's spot, and if other people from chat are interested in getting in, let us know. Happy to get you in. But I know Nor was saying earlier that she is unavailable to play today. Let me, assuming Core that you are still interested and available, let me get you in here. And yes, okay, so Iroder has jumped out. Thanks for stopping by, Iroder. Good to have you, as always. Invite sent to Core. And if one of you could just confirm, Core, are you now player 1? Okay, looks like it. Looks like it. There we go. Alright, so is there anything that we'd like to see between Core and Phaler? Obviously, this will be Core's first match of the night, whereas Phaler's been going for a while, so up to you.
Request.
Oh? Right, we did have to customize off. That is true. That is true. Okay, yes, we've established that that is the way that we make the Falcon Ron sounds.
I can remove that for you if you want. I'll give you the older version.
Okay.
If you would like. Maybe you want a little run in your day, Adam.
Alright, well, let's see what we end up with here. It's Demon, Sap, and Worm for Core. And it's Demon, Sap, and Cur for Phaler. So actually, fairly similar team compositions here. At least from an Exile standpoint. Of course, Masteries and Talismans could still make things a lot more different. We have seen Mooncrest on several occasions proc for, who is it? Is it Vizpaleth who's getting that? If so, that's not a bad Exile to have that on. This does accelerate, or at least have a chance of accelerating, the respawn time, and since otherwise Vizpaleth would have a very long respawn, not bad. But 15 damage from that Worm throw for Core. No, it's Rookie who has the Mooncrest. Okay, now that, in that case, is exactly the opposite, because Rookie would normally have very quick respawn. Not typically someone who would get great value out of the Mooncrest, although great banishments from Phaler's Demon there, setting up a 17 damage throw. Had to cut it a little bit short as Core was about to get someone back from banishment. Vizpaleth once again on a banishing spree, and so able to plunge here for 30. It is oof. Hillman, ooh. Little fake out. Gets the defender to commit, going too far in the other direction, creating some time and space. Throw it in for 15. Iggy knocks back the defenders, and so he's now able to plunge for 30. He's now gone for this round, so suddenly a lot more room for Phaler to maneuver, and he'll plunge here for 20 with his Cur. No prayer beads on Rookie though, as we saw. He has the Mooncrest, so he is now gone for this round. Hillman stopped shy of the Pyre. Black Hoof on Palmas for Phaler. doesn't look like we have Banishing Throws on Phaler's Vids. Didn't see the Celestial Spike name pop up there.
The orb is up.
As for Iggy, I don't recall if we have confirmed one way or the other. However, Iggy actually, fortunately for Core, landed in the lava, which meant a faster respawn, though that time banished the old-fashioned way. And Core, with the help of that sapling, might get a safe spot just close enough to throw that one in, although does still get banished.
All banished.
Oh, and Core, with the opportunity for an uncontested worm score, and goes straight into the sapling. Core checking for Brazen Manor, does have it, though does lose Ignarius. Gilman. And Volfred. Iggy now back. Now that Core knows that he has that Brazen Manor, it is a difference maker because it's a one-score match if he can get that off. Barring Rekindling from Phaler's Sap. Of course, both players do have Saps. Also, haven't seen that many Talismans. So there's a chance we could have an unexpected Rite Light on maybe even both sides. Because that is sometimes when it is most likely to appear, since obviously you've no way of knowing it's there unless and until a player loses all of their Pyre life. So in times such as these, when we have not seen many Talismans reveal themselves, sometimes that is the reason for that being the case. A little song and dance between Rookie and Gilman. Well shielded from Palmas. Rookie for Phaler, blocked, banished. Gilman trying to get rid of Vids, but gets the orb instead. Iggy moving in as well.
Gilman caught out.
Now just Iggy on the attack. He's dispossessed and now banished. Vids. Orb falls within the safety of Phaler's sapling.
To the adversary's flame.
Phaler regathers, but loses Vids. Core with Gilman. Unblockable throw. Oh, just enough on it. Lands for 15, and that means one score would be enough from any of Core's exiles here, unless there is some additional rekindling, which, as I was saying, I'm growing increasingly suspicious that there may be a fair bit of that. Volfred. Valiant return for Gilman this time. Ooh, couldn't quite get the throw off. Rookie for Phaler. Misses the mark, but Mooncrest brings him back. It's Core. Iggy, and now Gilman the other side. Which one is the real threat? Well, Iggy is answered. But Gilman is not. There is the rekindling. It's just 10, though. So Phaler holding on with the second life bar, but not a lot of life on that second life bar. Phaler plunges for 20, and now one score for Phaler would be enough. Unless, of course, 4 has rekindling, which, once again, as he also has a sap, may very well be the case. But with Rookie now gone, it does make matters very tricky for Phaler, as he has Black Hoof on Palmas. Core knows who the threat is Vids, and it's borderline impossible, or at least extremely difficult, for Phaler to score with Palmas. So does that make things easier for Core here?
Simply monstrous.
Phaler with Vids, a lot of ground to cover. In fact, Phaler loses everybody here, and will take a little while before they respawn. Time for Core to throw and take the win.
The Pyre hearts prevail.
GG.
I thought for certain they would not. The rite is ended.
Alright, well played, you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
Alright, we'll turn back on the customize, but let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we'll just... Otherwise, we'll just have the players take whatever they'd like here, as I casually have a speechless war with Phaler over which triumvirate and whether he has customize on or off for this next match. Hold on, do I have any hotkey? I have a hotkey to start the rite. Do I have any hotkeys that can turn customize on or off or switch his triumvirate? Well, not seeing any requests at the moment. Of course, we've not yet seen a quote-unquote normal match between these two, as their first matchup was one with customize turned off, so maybe it does make sense to give them both the chance to take whatever they'd like here. Oh, thought I might have been able to get him there. Thought he was going to sneak in just one more customize
The
off.
fire hearts shall take
Well, we're at the fall.
the fate. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? Sir
And
Gilman,
Core goes Exploding Gilman. Phaler with quick throwing Ninja Almer.
Sandra.
Power casting Snadra, second choice for Core. Now, Titan Tooth on the Stowaway for Phaler. For the stuns, whoever the Stowaway jumps into will now get caught. Now, Speedy Jodariel with extra starting Pyre life for Core. And Super Portals on Raji there for Phaler.
Now go. Commence.
As Phaler able to sneak a throw in between the defenders for 20. Almer looking to follow up with a little bit more of that here, although this time the throw intercepted. Phaler, with just Raji at the moment, waits until Almer makes his return. Which he has now done, but his throw is intercepted. Gilman. And now Jody has enough range on that jump to make it all the way in here. Almer. Throw intercepted by Gilman, who just barely outruns the cast. And then chooses to crash into Almer to explode and take him out. Snadra. She's vanished. Phaler through the portal and gets infinite stamina in the process. But the throw still intercepted. Snadra. Gilman's throw is short. Though the... Oh! Stunning claim. Meanwhile,
Devious maneuver.
Phaler is just kind of hanging out there. Waiting to throw that one in, uncontested. Throw intercepted. Jody. Sidesteps a cast or two, but does eventually get taken out by Raji. Stowaway. Elusive, thus far. But is there an end product? Yes, there is. It's a 20 damage plunge. Ooh, and sneaky little sidestep there from Ulmer. Just enough to set up that 20 damage throw.
Shall the fate press their luck, perhaps?
But he's banished this time. Stowaway. See if she can do what Ulmer could not. Well, she does not succeed, but now Ulmer returns. But so does Core. Jody. Finds her way in.
The Pyre Heart's Pyre now burns relatively.
Ulmer's throw intercepted. Gilman. Cornered. Ulmer taken out right as he was about to receive the orb. Likewise with the stowaway. Snadra trying to clear out a little bit of room before she makes her move. Otherwise, Phaler's wall of defenders proves to be too much for her to break through. And suddenly, there was a whole lot of room for the stowaway there, although Core did get some exiles back, perhaps just in time. Core uses Stunning Claim, freezes everybody.
An interesting exchange.
Gilman. The throw.
Has gone in.
Good for 13. Ulmer. Now Jody. And Gilman. Gilman down, but Jody still on the attack here and finds her way in to take the win.
Pyre Hearts prevail. Their pyre burns, whilst that of their adversaries is but ash.
GG.
The rite is done.
Alright, well played you two. Now let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, so let us know, chat, if there's anything you'd like for the next match. Otherwise, as we saw there, we can just have the players take whatever they'd like. That works too. Whatever your preference is. Not seeing anything here, though, so we'll get the next one started up.
The Pyre Hearts shall now face.
And we are back at Phaler's home arena. It feels like we've been seeing a whole lot of the Spring of Jomir today.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
See if Core is phased by the raucous home crowd trying to support their home team, although, as we saw previously, some question as to Phaler's true allegiances and where they lie. As he was seen and heard earlier today, speaking ill of his team captain. Surely, the home crowd will have seen and heard that, and as for whether they still stand by Phaler and support him as a Fates player, that remains to be seen. Will they be able to look past what Phaler has said? Well, surely a victory here would help to win them back over. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a demon by the I don't. Do demons have to? I don't know, man. Alright, well, core is all set here. Phaler, I was about to say, was on the verge of taking no Fate members whatsoever, and that is not a way to please the home crowd, but does eventually settle on Raji for his final choice. Amitha tries to loop around and nearly finds a way around the defense, although it's Snadra here. Falls it in for 20 damage. Ooh, big blinks from Volfred, though not enough to avoid the defenders. Amitha makes it in this time. Good for 20. Volfred almost sneaks past Snadra. Now it's Bertrude. She's stopped, and everyone down on Core's side means plenty of time for Phaler to plunge there with his harp. And had prayer beads on Amitha, so she is back. Ooh, and elusive that time from Volfred, though not when it mattered most. Amitha was quick, but also quick to be banished. Just me, or was that an extra long jump from Bertrude? Titan Tooth stuns Phaler, setting up a double banishment for Snadra, but Snadra is still banished herself. And the throw from Bertrude is unblockable, and so it does land for 30. Shoulder smash from Snadra takes out Amitha. And now everyone down on Phaler's side. Snadra, though, tries to find a way through, though well shielded from Phaler. Volfred. Don't think he has that much range. Core with Amitha. Blocked. Tried to salute to avoid the stun, but was unable to pull that one off in time. Does still, however, just barely manage to sneak in that throw for 18, just shy of the full 20. Oh, Phaler sacrificed his teammate there, so lost 2 exiles rather than just 1 to that cast that Core had cast. And, interesting little reverse psychology there from Phaler. Makes it look as if he's going to go, doubles back, does it again. The third time was the charm. Win some space here for Core's Amitha, although hesitates a little bit. Now with Snadra, she's pushed back out of throwing range and banished. Throw from Core does land for 30, and that's enough to trigger the rekindling for Phaler. So second life bar revealed, it's 10, which means at this point 1 score would certainly do the trick. Core activates the Crone Salute to set up the winning score.
Their adversaries confidently thwarted.
GG.
The rite is complete.
Well played, you two. And we'll head on back. And to answer that question, Honor, no. No, we will not.
Until the next rite.
Alright, well, let us know, chat, if there is anything else we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, as always, we can just have the players take whatever they want. That works too. And Honor has turned Customize off once again, so randomize Exiles, Masteries, and Talismans. Won't even get to see what those things are in advance, just going to get thrown straight into the action. Could still do Arena, could still do a song, but otherwise, just about everything is accounted for. But seeing neither of those requests, let's get started. Oh, well then. Our first boat match of the day, and it is customized off, and Core has a demon. Phaler does not, though. It's Demon, Crone, and Sap for Core. It is double Savage plus Imp for Phaler. Of course, other details to be determined. We'll see what we can figure out about the two teams here. As players checking for salutes and other things along those lines, but everyone is down on Phaler's side. So Core is able to throw this one in for 25. Infernal Bloom on Gareth, we now know. Stowaway, banished. Everyone down on Phaler's side once more, which means once again we have an opportunity for what is now a 30 damage score from that throw. Infernal Bloom once again. In case there was any question as to who that was coming from, yes, absolutely, it is Gareth. Iggy, though, nearly hops his way in. Extra boat magic boost on the Stowaway, but not enough to get her in. Bertrude stopped just shy of the Pyre and now banished. Stowaway still over there and within range of a single jump and makes it in for 20 there. Oh, rather that was Gareth. He is banished though because, as we've said before, he did not have prayer beats.
If I were that one, I'd be rather angry.
Ooh, and straight in goes Bertrude, lunging for 30 for Core. And that means one score, very likely all that Core would need, unless we have more unexpected rekindling, although Phaler not going down without a fight here. He plunges for 20, that time with Gareth once again. But now just Raji back. Phaler pushing aggressively with Raji, creates a portal, more or less on top of Core's Pyre. But Core in possession, so Phaler still needs to be careful. I feel like I just saw a Web Lanthorn effect. Or rather, a Can Singularity effect, I should say, on Raji. Stowaway, banished before she can make it in. Phaler makes the defensive play, at least initially, although doesn't on the second attempt, loses his portal, or at least it's repositioned to a much less threatening location now. It is definitely Can Singularity on Raji. Core fakes the throw, goes for the plunge, but gets banished instead, although everyone banished now on Phaler's side, and Core only needed one score, and there it is.
The Pyre Heart prevailed.
GG.
Such a well-conducted victory it was. The ceremony is complete.
Alright, well played, you two. And let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Alright, let's turn Customize back on. Let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. And it is starting to get a little later. This might even end up being our penultimate rite, our last rite before the Liberation Rite, meaning the last one we'll take requests on, since we won't take any requests for the Liberation Rite. In which case, if there is anything that we are still looking to have happen before the night is through, then let us know, and we can make that happen now. Otherwise, as always, we could just have the players take whatever they want here. But not seeing anything at the moment, at least. So we can just have the players take what they want in that case. That always works. back at the Ridge of Gold.
Shall now face the fate. Welcome.
The players can take whatever they want.
Who shall conduct the rites?
And for Core, that means Righteous Flame on Gilman. Whereas Phaler goes Prayer Beads on Dalbert.
Messenger.
Web Lanthorn Messenger Imp, second choice for Core.
Bertrude.
Then Bertrude will have Titan Tooth for some stuns. Now, Power Casting Snadra in the last spot for Core. While Phaler finishes with an Exploding Deluge.
Begin.
Race to the orb, and it's just about as close as you can get to a tie.
Banished in an instant.
Gilman now for Core. As
There.
Phaler tried to chase and nearly caught up to him.
Oh.
Worm versus Worm. Core wins out, although Loose Orb claimed by Dalbert, and he has just enough stamina to hop his way through for 20. 4. Unable to make it through with Gilman. Phaler unable to make it through with Deluge.
A deathly forfeit drive.
Series of banishments, though, and now extremely dangerous portal for Core that is just about on top of Phaler's Pyre. Phaler goes for the stunning claim, but I think he was just a second too late there. He was trying to make it so that he had the only exile able to move, but had an exile come in from banishment just as he had activated it, although still able to get a 30 damage plunge here, courtesy of the Titan Tooth stun.
Yes. The flame
And
is
Core was a throw. That was a throw. Okay. It was right next to the Pyre. For a second there, wasn't sure if the momentum took him in for a plunge, as that was clearly not what he had intended.
stricken. The orb is up.
But got the throw and got 10 leech as well from the Talisman. Gilman. Blocked this time.
Now go.
Loose Orb, claimed by Dalbert momentarily.
Expected.
Although a return from Deluge, but unable to do anything with that opportunity, as suddenly there's more space for Core to throw this one in, this time for just 9. Core wins the race to the orb this time. The throw slightly off target, as Dalbert was hanging out next to the Pyre, so he's quickly able to score on the counter. And there is Phaler's Crone Salute, transforming all of Core's exiles into defenseless Howlers. So a free 30 damage score for Phaler on that occasion means likely just one more score that Phaler would need to finish this one up. And nearly had one with Dalbert there. But Core back in control. Phaler finishes the job with Bertrude.
The fate prevail.
GG.
Their adversaries must be crying tears of shame.
Well played, you
Thus
two.
end this night's proceedings.
And now, we'll head on back.
until the stars align.
Alright, and I think it may be time to initiate our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, which would of course mean no requests from chat for this one. Both players taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style, and that means we would be going for the Never to Return version of the Fate. Like so. So if you two are ready, love when the imp doesn't explode. It is frustrating. But alas, for our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, let's begin.
Hear me, exiles. You stand upon the fall of Solium. Here you may step closer to achieving freedom. Try not to let the pressure get to you. Pyre hearts, stand prepared. The Fate, stand prepared. Who shall conduct this rite?
Alright, so as we were saying, this will be our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, so no requests from chat for this one, both players taking their preferred teams. And for core, that means a speedy Jodariel with extra starting Pyre life. For Phaler, it's a quick throwing Ninja Almer. Web Lanthorn Messenger Imp, second choice for core. Titan Tooth Messenger Imp for Phaler.
Bertrude.
Leeching Bertrude is the final choice for core. And Phaler will finish with Web Lanthorn Raji. Alright, so here we go, our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, core on the left representing the Pyre Hearts, Phaler on the right representing the Fate. Best of luck to you both. And there it is.
Pyre hearts proved their worth.
GG.
Their adversaries they defeated utterly.
Well played, you two.
Thus ends the liberation rite.
That was our liberation rite, our final rite of the night. Thank you everybody who participated in the rites today, and thank you everybody who gave us their requests in chat as well. I am going to hop out of Discord, but I will catch you guys next week. Alright, but I know, well, that's an interesting lids that you have there. I don't know what that is. But, let me just make sure everyone is safe from the prison that is Steam Remote. But look, I'm not actually imprisoning them. I'm just saying Steam Remote Play is, you know, questionable at best at times. But alas, as I was saying, that was our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today, and thank you everybody who gave us the request today in chat as well. This was, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the RITE Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. My name is Lids, I'm hosting these Rite Nights, and my streaming schedule is Fridays, we are doing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, Saturdays we are doing Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and then of course, Sundays we're doing Pyre. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs for all those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch it there as well. Also doing some Gwent videos, in addition to a few other things every now and again on YouTube. And if you haven't done so yet already, of course, though, you can always hit the follow button to get notification for when I go live. And just follow me on Twitter at LidsVids. I post there when I go live as well. But actually, the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is by joining my Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll catch you next time.